Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Oh man, Commander Luke and Chewpio have really been creating some uproar in Grand Arena lately. Commander Luke has always been a pretty decent defensive team, even though we don't hardly see him because he's so good for banners and he's so versatile. He's good on defense now, though, guys. Like, he's really good, and it's not just something that we're going to be able to take out with Night Sisters. Night Sisters used to be able to do it, Padme used to be able to do it, and now we find ourselves in a really strange situation where you can't really kill Commander Luke with Chewpio team with anything reliably unless it's like General Skywalker or better. Like Darth Revan even dies at a pretty decent clip, or maybe it's indecent. I don't really know. One way or another, though, I've been trying to find some kind of a solution to this team because it's suddenly like a top 5 defensive team. It is crazy good, and I think I finally found something, and it's pretty simple. I'm going to walk you guys through it a little bit, though, just so you understand my methodology, what I'm going to do, what I'm trying to make happen, and it's a real thing, guys. It's Commander Luke needs to be addressed, and we can't just throw General Skywalker at it all the time. We need something. So I also do want to talk a little bit about how just the nature of teams and how they evolve within the Grand Arena meta, and yeah, you guys will see all of that. So let's move to the actual fights that I did. I've done a lot of testing, and I think I've got some good stuff for you. So let's move forward. Alright guys, so the team on the left, as you may surmise, is the team that we're testing against today, and I just want to show you guys the snapshot of what we're doing, and then I'm going to jump into some of the fights that I had against it. General Grievous is the team that I want to counter it, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So in this match, you'll see I'm trying different ways to beat this. I'm trying to go as cheap as I can. So that means that I have a Droideka here, and not trying to use any characters that I don't want to use, like Watt or etc. Someone that you might need for another counter. And so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get Chewbacca out. He's kind of the linchpin here in a lot of ways because of all of his assists and everything. So I'm trying to do just like basic attacks on him, or like big single hits, and it clearly like it's not panning out. Now you'll see this team, man, it takes so many turns. It's just crazy, and then it assists as well, or counters and assists. It's just they get a ton of turns, they do a lot of damage, and as you can see, they just totally wiped me out here. It wasn't even close, and so you may find yourself thinking like maybe this General Grievous team is not that great to be able to counter, and in some ways I agree with you. So I'm changing my methodology a little bit here with Grievous. I'm gonna do an AoE instead for my initial move, and unfortunately you have to lose one of your droids to even get a turn with Grievous. But once that does happen, you'll notice the target lock is on characters. Once target lock is on guys, then they can't actually counter against General Grievous. So that's one thing that's great. It negates one of their huge benefits, one of their really awesome perks to this team. However, it's still pretty ugly here. You can see Droideka's taking hits. Everyone's dying. It's just complete mayhem. Total random BS, and you guys might be thinking like, well, maybe this isn't the counter for me, and I get that. I totally do. The fact is, though, this Commander Luke team gains so much turn meter when they attack. We need something that has some kind of a trigger on death, or some kind of a trigger at least that's health-based, or something that allows us to gain a lot of turn meter and actually get a word in edgewise, because otherwise they'll just blow a lot of these other teams completely out of the water. The awesome thing about General Grievous is they have a lot of turn meter manipulation. So you see Magna Guard dies here without any hope of actually surviving. And Grievous immediately gets a turn. He's able to do an AoE and put a bunch of target lock on guys. Droideka can go. He didn't even kill Chewie, unfortunately. And now we're left, like you can see how low Grievous is. This first batch of testing didn't really go that well because I was stuck on trying to keep Droideka in here. And the fact was I had another character available that might actually have done some good. And so after this match, I'm going to actually switch to that team. I think I ended up, in my initial testing, I ended up at like a 60% win rate, and all of that was pretty sketchy. Like, I think I win this match, but not very convincingly, in my opinion. Like, we're close. We're on the edge, and there's not many banners to be found. There's a lot of other... There's a better team, though, guys. There's a better team. So, let's move to that. Okay, so we're using Newt instead of Droideka. I know that a lot of people like to run a Newt lead team, and that is too bad. He is more expensive, so to speak, than a Droideka, but not that much, in my opinion. He does a lot of things. You don't need him at super high relics. The fact is, if they blow Newt away right away, then Grievous gets another turn, and your Newt stays alive, actually. So, right now, what we're doing, so Newt gets taken out, he's still alive, and then Grievous gets a turn. We get target lock on, and once you get target lock, you gain a little semblance of control. You can get this extortion off on Luke, and as long as it's on Luke, like, your guys are going to be a little faster. You're gonna have a lot of different buffs associated with that, and that's great. So as you can see, it's a lot more in control now. Like, They did some damage, but now we can actually do a little, like, we can assert our will, our dominance, our will to destroy them. So we're able to kill Han after Chewie, and now Luke hasn't really even gotten a turn. Now the tables are kind of reversed. You can see I've been able to manipulate the turn meter by a pretty significant margin. And so you'll see I'm quitting out of this match. I'm gonna jump straight back into it. And the fact is, guys, this team, like, it's not that difficult. I'm not trying to explain to you guys, like, hey guys, you don't know how to use this counter. This is so intricate. Like, it pretty much plays itself. If you've used General Grievous, you know how to play it, essentially. You want to put extort on Commander Luke because he takes a lot of turns, and that's going to help you. And also, he's kind of the last target anyways. He's one of the last guys we're gonna kill. And then you want to kill Chewie, and the rest of it's just touch and go. You want to get target lock on everyone as much as you can. And so let me just take a minute here to explain to you guys why I think this is actually a viable counter, because I know a lot of people really enjoy using this team on defense. Like, for me, that I've placed General Grievous on defense forever, and it's not because it gets stops anymore. It does sometimes in the right defense, but it doesn't necessarily get holds anymore. But people are using good teams. They're using strong squads to be able to beat it, and so I like that. I do. The fact is, there are a lot of really good defensive options. I mean, such as Commander Luke with Chewpio on defense. There's a lot of good options, and the fact is, General Grievous is less and less of a good option these days. The way the life cycle on these squads works in Grand Arena is they start really strong on defense, and there's not a lot of counters developed for them. And frankly, people overpay for that squad to be able to counter them. They overpay, and that's great. Like, for the longest time, you guys know that people used to use Jedi Revan to be able to counter this, and that is a huge trade up for General Grievous squad. Like, Jedi Revan is orders of magnitude stronger than General Grievous, but no one else had a good counter. Like, you could maybe use Traya or something if you got lucky, if you had higher relics or something, but Like that doesn't work that well. And then people have started developing more and more things to the point where now, like, I've used it so far that, like, if someone has a General Grievous squad without Watt, like, sometimes I set a strong enough defense I can count on people failing against me. I just send like 7 teams to slowly kill the General Grievous squad. I'm not saying that we're at the point right now where it's just an indefensibly bad defensive team, but look at Geonosians, look at Night Sisters. People used to put both of those squads on defense all the time as defensive stoppers, and they aren't used in that capacity that often anymore. They are. I still place both of them on defense sometimes. Just watch my most recent video that actually hasn't come out. It will come out soon. My most recent Grand Arena, though, I placed Night Sisters for the first time in a while. They still have value on defense, but like there's so many established counters now. Like that you can beat Grievous with like just a hodgepodge of random crap. Honestly, like Bastila with Emperor Palpatine and Traya, and I don't know. Like there's a ton of just random stuff that beats them, and that's fine. It's still a good squad on defense, but I think we're going to start seeing them on offense more. And they still have a ton of offensive versatility. You can still use them to counter a ton of different teams. So, in conclusion, guys, we can talk about this a little bit more as we move along through Grand Arena, but I think it's time for us to start looking at General Grievous as a good offensive option. I guess one other thing I will point out, it's not just that General Grievous is a decent offensive option. We all know that he can kill a lot of stuff, including Darth Revan squads and everything lower than that. The fact is, people say he gets really terrible banners, and I get it. Like, he hurts his own squad members, and yeah, like he can be super inefficient. But the fact is, I've run Grievous on my alt for a long time on offense, and I consistently, like, against a lot of squads, I just get like 59. It's like I just ding up my B2 a little bit, but B1 keeps everyone healthy, and Grievous can stay at max health and protection pretty easily if you have the situation in hand. And B1 he always, as long as B1 is alive, he gets full health and protection bonuses. So, like, it's not uncommon to get a 57 or even a 59. And the fact is, the same people who say that Grievous is horrifyingly inefficient on offense, they're also saying, they also say that they take Night Sisters on offense and they get 55 and they're like, I got 55. Like, so what? They're Night Sisters. What do you expect? Like, you're going to get about the same banners with Grievous. Maybe less sometimes, maybe more. I mean, I've moved to the point where I just put a heavy defense down and I don't care about banners as much. So, worth taking a look at, guys. That's all I'm saying. I think Grievous is a good squad to take out this Commander Luke team. And if your opponent doesn't place the Commander Luke team, there are a ton of teams that Grievous can efficiently counter. So keep an eye out for that on my own Grand Arena videos. I'll probably be taking him more and more on offense. I'm not going to say I'm doing it all the time. He's probably still stuck on defense a lot. But we're going to call it good here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.